Well, as the president tries to rally his troops on another front, trying to get the GOP Senate tax plan passed, there are around-the-clock negotiations, not across the aisle, but within the party, including dinner tonight, a big one at the vice president's house with some key players. After the failure to get health care done, pressure is mounting this time around. So will it happen? Colorado Republican Senator Gardner joins us live. Good to see you tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so everybody is kind of working late, trying to get this thing done. The president said today, why can't we just vote today? I mean, there are some procedural things you have to get done in the Senate, but the key question is, do you get to 50?
I think the point he's making is let's get this done. Let's get this done soon, because the sooner we can bring relief, real relief to the American people, the sooner we're going to see wage growth, economic growth, and opportunity grow for the American people.
But you know there are a number of groups out there, folks on the left of the aisle, other so-called nonpartisan groups who are putting out estimates that say this isn't good for the American people. It's good for rich people, and it's bad for middle and lower income people.
Yeah, you've got some economists out there putting out documents that people like Kevin Hassett, very well-respected economist, has said is scientifically indefensible, the kinds of works and studies that are being put out there. What we know is this. In Colorado, the net income, the net after-tax income increase is going to be over $3,000 for the people of my state. As a result of lowering the corporate tax rate, we could see wages grow as high as $4,000 under some estimates. Bottom line is, people are going to be better off at every income level under this bill than they were today and before the passage of this legislation.
All right, you know you've had a lot of concerns by members within your own party who talked about the impact on the deficit. They say, listen, when did we get so comfortable spending all this money and we're not offsetting it? There have been all kinds of concerns about including triggers that would then cut back some of these things, raise, increase taxes if the predictions aren't working out correctly. Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana has had something to say about this today. Let's play that.
One trigger, which I don't like, would say if we don't hit our numbers, there would be automatic tax increases. I don't like that. There's another alternative, which I like much better, which says if we don't hit our numbers, we'll have automatic spending cuts in terms of deficit, in terms of discretionary spending.
That? What about the side of this equation that has to deal with spending, cutting the enormous federal spending? People don't like sending their tax dollars here because they see what happens with it.
That's exactly right. What I believe we ought to do is let the American people keep more of their money, let American businesses keep more of their own money, let them invest where they think it's smart to do so. They're going to make better decisions than Washington can, and we're going to see economic growth as a result. Look, I'm not a big fan of triggers or tax snapbacks in effect. That's what we're going to see. This is a snapback tax. I don't think that's a good idea to put in place in this bill. Let's let the American people keep more of their own dollars through this. Let's see that growth, the economic growth that's projected between 3 to 4 to 5% GDP growth. That's going to more than fill any deficit concerns as a result of that new revenue coming back to the federal government.
Okay, so as we're watching and waiting now, a lot of speculation that this could once again come down to Senator John McCain being the deciding vote. Do you have any bead on where he is tonight?
I think this is going to be a very serious vote for all of us, and I think Senator McCain is going to make the right decision for Arizona, for the people of this country. I believe he will come down on the right side of this issue. I don't think anybody can say they speak for John McCain, but we're going to obviously make sure that everybody has the information they need to do what's right for this country, and that's to get Washington out of the way, let America get back to work.
I want to ask you about North Korea as well, because we've discussed that before. UN Ambassador Nikki Haley had this to say at an emergency meeting today after their launch yesterday.
China must show leadership and follow through. China can do this on its own, or we can take the oil situation into our own hands.
About the trade between North Korea and China on oil, are they doing enough?
Well, I'm going to commend Ambassador Haley for making this strong statement. Look, if China wants to be a responsible global power, then they have to act responsibly toward their neighbor that is now threatening a global nuclear war. That means that China has to cut off oil, has to cut off trade. They're responsible for 90% of trade with North Korea. China has to simply do more. It's not enough to say that, yeah, we'd like Kim Jong-un to stop. It's not enough to send a delegation and then just say, hey, we've told them we need to stop. It's not enough to cut back on some coal imports from North Korea into China, or some, they need to stop it all. They need to cut off oil. We need a global economic embargo. We need to stop the slave labor that's coming out of North Korea. We can and should do more. Look, the doctrine from this president is maximum pressure, not maximum cajoling. We need to make sure that we apply that maximum pressure not just on the Kim Jong-un regime, but its enablers like China as well.
Well, the president called Kim Jong-un a, quote, sick puppy today. That didn't go over well in the rogue regime, but we can imagine it would. Senator, thank you so much for coming in. Good to see you.